name is Lorrie, and it is BLABFEST Friday here on my channel. We are quilters. I have several interesting things to share with you today. First of all, I have the patriotic quilt. The updates are in each show notes with pictures of the layout and the blocks that we've done. This last block was a challenge, and I got reacquainted with my seam ripper. But that's beside the point. If you take your time and use pins like you should, you will have no problems with that cute little block. And as challenging as that block was, the next one is that easy, and it will go together like that. So see you on Wednesday for that block. As I was doing the patriotic quilt layouts the hard way, and not entirely the hard way, but using the copy feature on the printer and then doing some coloring because my son had not fixed up my blog yet. He, of course, got it fixed right after I did all that work, and so I'm going to use that since it's easy to see and read. The patriotic blocks will go until the end of November. The last block, which is really just setting it all together, will be the last Wednesday in November. I have been busy working on the murder mystery quilt that lasts for the year, and so here's as far as I got. An inner border. Cute. This is going to be a very colorful quilt. It's based on colors of Greece, so it is going to be a very colorful quilt. And then on December 1st, we are going to start the study in Scarlet. I will drop the read aloud story the first of every month for 14 months. And then every Wednesday after that during the month, I will build a block and I will show you some layout. I have been working in EQ8 to get the layout nice and neat, and so I can print it. We'll see how that goes. It's still a work in progress, but I think you will very much enjoy the story. I do have right here all of the block kits cut out and ready to make, and I will get started on that so that I have something to show you before we start, hopefully. That brings me to the next thing. While we are doing the mystery, I will post things in two places so that you can download free patterns. I will put things on my blog because it is now up and running, and I will also put things down below in the show notes so that you can click a link and share the file or print it that way, depending on which you prefer. Either way, you should be able to get to the patterns, and if you are ever not able to get to those patterns and it is something on my end, please drop me a comment or an email so that I know to fix a broken link or the one pattern I set on private viewing, and I just needed to go in and click one little place and make it public so that you could all see it. So please let me know if that's not working for you. For the past 2 weeks, we have had some great fun at thrift stores. I made the video before we went to any thrift stores 2 weeks ago and didn't have a whole lot to show you, but this week I have several trips here and there worth of stuff to show you. The first thing I have to show you is this. This was, because it's not in the best of shape, it was a freebie. It just needs a little bit of love. It was handmade, and it's pulled apart in a couple places. But look at this. Isn't this a cute little quilt? It has a couple blocks that came apart, and whoever owned it before did a little bit of zigzag stitch in 2 or 3 places. And this wasn't torn down the side until I got it caught on the door handle on the way into the cabin. So I'll get to fix that too. I think I'm just going to put a whole new border on it and then a whole new binding, as well as fix the places where it has pulled apart. But it will be a cute little cuddle quilt. I also found this jar of buttons, this fantastic little jar of buttons for $1. Now, there was a lot of thread pieces. Whoever cut these off of clothing didn't bother to pull the threads out. So I dumped them on a plate and started sorting them out, and I found, I hope I don't get in trouble with YouTube for showing you this button. There are 8 of these. Yeah, that button really does say that. I've never seen buttons like that, and I've seen a lot of buttons in my time. Just saying, just saying. My husband, on that same day, at a different thrift store, found me a fantastic book. Let me flip it up there. Fantastic book. Creating Scrap Quilts by Amy Sims. Now, it was written in 1993, but it is a signed copy, or at least I think it's a signed copy. I couldn't find her autograph anywhere online because she's not a baseball player or football player, so I'm not really sure. She is from here in Michigan, in Flint, according to lots of different things written throughout her book. And this goes right along with my embellishment series. She was sewing all kinds of things, like play tickets and all kinds of things onto her quilts way back in 1993, and using lots of pictures. And her quilts are not meant to be washed. So she sews a lot of interesting memorabilia into her quilts. My husband picked this up for $1. Yes, $1. But I had great fun reading part of it, and I have some more reading to do. I wish the pictures were a little bigger so you could see the details a little better, but it still has some pretty interesting ideas, things to sew onto a quilt. I did find some great fabric too, some great red, and the piece with the teal flowers is only it's not even 1/4 of a yard. It's probably 6 inches wide. And then the pink flowers, it reminds me of the apple blossom festival they have in Winchester. I found this, I've been looking at this huge piece of, the picture looks gray, but it's more of a teal gray green. I've been looking at this for probably a month, and I told my husband if it was still there this time, it was coming home with us. And it was a 4-yard piece, so it was $8 whole, so, which is a lot for the fabric at that particular thrift store, but it's an older piece of fabric. And look at this piece. You know what it was that caught my eye with that piece of fabric. That big treadle in the middle, not to mention the buttons and the pinking shears. And there was some nice stripe fabric, and it is brand name. And speaking of not being able to wash quilts, I picked this patch up by Homespun Ideas, and then when I got it home, I noticed on the back it says, washing not recommended. What? It's fabric. So normally I would have taken the cardboard off of that and put it with regular fabric, but since it says that, I think I will keep that on there and find a special use for it because it is very cute. I also found some basting tape. Now, this is only 1/8 of an inch wide. If you have not ever used basting tape, it is great for installing zippers. or if you are replacing a zipper. It is great for holding your zipper in place because you know when you put a pin through, it kind of distorts your fabric and makes an extra bump, and it's bad enough to be working with the zipper and worrying about the teeth and your needle and everything else. Basting tape is fantastic when you are putting in a zipper, either old or new. And for $1/4, hopefully it won't be dried out. Hopefully it'll be good stuff because it costs a lot more than $1/4. I've only ever seen it in 1/4 inch. I've never seen it this thin before. I also found some, my friend calls this beading wire Tiger Tail. That was a brand that was out there for a while. It is a metal strand, but it is covered with nylon, so it doesn't rust, it doesn't corrode, it holds its shape, it doesn't stretch. It is great for making jewelry, especially the ones with the magnetic clasps or a clip clasp. It is great for making jewelry. And I picked these two up for $1/4 a piece. These run from $8 to $15 a spool. So this was I was having great fun at the thrift store. I also picked up some embroidery pearl cotton or whatever it might be because it no longer has a label on it by the time I pick it up there. But the yellow one is a nice golden variegated, and the green will make fantastic vine. It did say there was a little disc inside the big ball of cardboard. It did say that they were color fast. I hope so. I did put them on floss bobbins so that they are easier to carry and put in my little kit since we will be migrating soon. This last find, it's called Waste Canvas, and it has to do with Monday's embellishment video. Some of you might know what waste canvas is used for. If you don't, it will be a big surprise, an extra surprise. For this last part, I know you're not going to be looking at me here on the side anyway. You're going to be looking at the eye candy quilts. I have 3 quilts from Anne, and she is now done making quilts for the, I believe she told us way back, the 7 people that she worked with as a teacher. She made each of them a quilt. And these are the last 3, and then she is all done. So she did send some details about these quilts. The first one is made from a layer cake, and from Art Gallery, and she designed it based on something she saw on another YouTube channel. The second one was made from a charm pack by Wild Blooms, and it was also designed based on something she saw on YouTube. The last one, which has solids by Marcia Durst, is a pattern called Proximity by Karen the Warped Spinster. It's a cute quilt. What an interesting name. Who's going to forget that lady's name as a pattern designer? I also have some things to show you from Marion. She was on a camping trip, a glamping trip in her RV. She took a sewing machine with her and set up a sewing area. She said that she could see the ocean from the window of her RV. What a fantastic place to sew. Sit and sew. She made a fantastic potato chip quilt. That is no-brainer sewing, and what a great way to sit and enjoy the ocean. And she also made this cute cat quilt with the kitty head in the middle, and I love her fabric choices. So bright and so cheerful. So nice. If you do go to my blog, right now there's not a whole lot there. It's been a while since it was up and running. and I will be adding some things from the Build-A-Block so that it is also accessible there. But for right now, everything is right here in YouTube on the notes for each video. I hope you've enjoyed BLABFEST Friday. I will see you on Monday for Upskill Monday with that waistcloth and a surprise. See you then. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe.